The soul must descend into Hades before it ascends to Olympus. Eleusinian Mysteries. They never told you what spiritual awakening actually feels like. It's not love and light. It's breakdown, isolation, crushing realizations. You wake up and the whole world starts to look like a lie. The pain, real. The confusion, overwhelming. But you're not alone. Because when your soul begins to crack open, the gods take notice. This video is for those who are awakening, and for those who feel like they're breaking instead of rising. You are not being punished. You are being remade. No soul awakens by accident, and no awakening happens without pain. In ancient Egypt, awakening was the path of initiation into truth. The initiate was stripped of illusion, forced to walk the path of Ma'at, divine order, even through chaos. He who would rise must descend into the Duat, for in the darkness, he becomes divine. Temple of Edfu inscription. In ancient Greece, it was the Delphic oracle that warned, "Know thyself, and endure the fire of truth, lest you return to the shadows." In the Vedas, awakening was never soft. The soul, caught in slumber, must be shaken by fire and storm. From this pain, it returns to Dharma. Rig Veda. The moment your eyes open to the lies of the world, you become a danger to the system, and the gods protect those who step into this fire. But it is earned, not handed. Most people will never awaken. They will die as sleepwalkers. They will never ask why they exist. They will never question the poison in their own minds. But you did, and that has a cost. Spiritual awakening is not a comfortable process. Despite the sugar-coated image it's given in modern media or shallow self-help culture, awakening in its true form is a breakdown, a complete and often violent undoing of everything false within the self. It is not a retreat into comforting beliefs or pleasant fantasies, but rather an uncompromising confrontation with truth, with reality, and with one's own internal contradictions. For many, the process begins with a collapse. A personal collapse, a spiritual collapse, or even a full existential crisis. This collapse is not a failure. It is not an error. It is the natural consequence of a soul beginning to wake up in a world that has been constructed to keep it asleep. When one begins to realize that almost everything they've been taught is a distortion, a lie, or a mechanism of control, shock and pain are inevitable. The modern world is hostile to spiritual awakening. It is constructed in such a way that the very idea of looking within, asking deep questions, or seeking higher truths is ridiculed, pathologized, or worse, medicalized. Society teaches individuals to suppress all emotion, all pain, all natural inner rebellion. From childhood, people are told to accept suffering as normal, to hide their tears, to repress their grief, and to internalize guilt and fear as moral virtues. This pattern of suppression leads to the total desensitization of the human being. People become emotionally dead, spiritually amputated, and eventually incapable of genuine self-reflection. They survive in a zombified state, animated only by routines, screens, and distractions, while their soul suffocates in silence. Since the takeover of Christianity as a spiritual and cultural force, this pathology has been formalized. Misery, guilt, and emotional torment became sanctified. The suffering individual is presented as holy. Martyrdom is elevated above transformation. Self-flagellation is praised above spiritual power. The message is simple. To suffer is divine, and to be strong is heresy. This is not an accident. Misery fuels the slave systems of the world. It creates dependence, obedience, and spiritual paralysis. And when the soul begins to rebel against this condition, when the process of awakening begins, Modern systems provide two controlled outlets. One is to be numbed with medication, to suppress the symptoms of awakening until they implode in private, or else result in permanent